Welcome! In front of me I have the new Xiaomi 13T Pro, and today I'll go unboxing along with a quick look at the actual phone itself and just run down the specs and do all that stuff. So anyway, let's just get straight into it. Wow, a charger and a good one on top of that. Damn, that's a brick and a half. Okay, so basically that sums up everything that is in the box. It's a chunky little box, but nothing in here. Anyway, so quickly running down, phone, case, cable, charger. Charger is a Type A to Type C, unlike some other ones now being released with the Type C port. So both ends are Type C, which I would probably prefer to see that over this one, but still, gallium nitride charger, pretty fucking decent. Damn, that was a slip up, but anyway, it's gonna stay because that is a 120 watt charger in there. Anyway, cable, like I mentioned, comes with it. So let's just get straight into it. Flagship device, or basically by the looks of it. Flagship though, I'll mention, it's kind of like an asterisk flagship because it's not coming with a Snapdragon processor, it's coming with a Dimensity 9200 Plus. So let's start off with the display right here, which has a pretty decent screen to body ratio with a small little hole punched camera. That is a 6.67 inch display with a resolution of 1220 by 2712 pixels. And it's also boasting 87.5% screen to body ratio, 446 pixels per inch with a AMOLED display, 68 billion colors, 144 Hz refresh rate, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, 1200 nits typical brightness. Oh my Jesus, that is a 2600 nit peak brightness. I think they're actually competing with Apple right now in terms of brightness. So this device can, yeah, you can probably view the display of this phone on the surface of the sun. So yeah, it can get pretty bright. You most likely wouldn't want to be flashbanged by this device at night with a white background. Oh boy, that would be not the most fun thing to have happen to me. Anyway, flipping it over, we have a triple camera setup. The third one is just a tiny little one right here that I'm struggling with having the camera pick up. So running down, we have a 50 megapixel f1.9 24mm wide, 50 megapixel f1.9 50mm telephoto, and then 12 megapixel f2.2 15mm 15 ultra wide. And those are the cameras. Now, in terms of video recording, Xiaomi tends to push the resolution right here quite high. So this one can record at 8K 24 frames, 4K 24 30 60 and that's a weird one. So then we got a 4K/1080p 30 frames. I guess it's HDR10+. So you're planning to record at with HDR10+, you will be locked to 30 frames, both 4K and 1080p. And 1080p supports 30, 60, 120, 240. Those two last ones are slow motion though. We also have 10-bit LOG, whatever that is, and gyro electronic image stabilization. Now, if we flip it over to the front, we are looking at a 20 megapixel f2.2 wide sensor, and this can shoot at 1080p 30 frames with HDR10+. Now, moving on, if I can find... Oh, there we go, found it. This little tool, can pop out the tray. So as you can see, we don't have expandable storage. We have space for dual SIM, just no SD card support. And that will leave you with still a decent plethora of options right here to choose from in terms of storages. So starting off, we have 256 12 gigs. That's the very base version. All of them come with UFS 4.0 storage type, so that means it's pretty fast and good. Basically the best one you can get right now on Android. We have also 512 with 12 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage with 16 gigs of RAM. So the last one actually boosts up the storage and RAM as well. So this device can get spec'd out pretty hard. Now, continuing on into the internals, we have a 5000 mAh battery, so pretty big battery cell right here. And like I mentioned before, Dimensity 90 to 100 plus. So again, a pretty decent processor. Might not be necessarily the fastest thing you can get right now, because that would be probably the Bionic A17 Pro, but in terms of Android phones, it's still not the fastest. It's still slower than, for instance, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. So yeah, it shouldn't be far behind. This is still, I believe, Dimensity's flagship processor, but if I'm correct, it's not as powerful as the Snapdragon itself. Though, to be completely fair here and just kind of like give you a different perspective, these phones for the past like several years could do basically everything that you need it to. Cool, it can open up apps a 1/100th of a second quicker. Who cares? It's already stupid fast, and the amount of power that these devices have nowadays doesn't really justify upgrading it from like year to year. You already have a device that is as powerful probably as some people's computers, and really begs the question, why would you spend more money if you already have a decent device just to have a newer one? So in terms of power, Snapdragon, Dimensity, if you go for any of the highest ones, you still should be blasting through anything that you throw at this device without much problem. That being said, there might be just very niche scenarios, like for instance maybe Genshin Impact max settings, but that is just I haven't tested it out, so it's possible that it could still probably run this comfortably. So, what it won't be able to do is probably what new iPhones can, which is ray tracing gaming on a phone, but who is playing like Resident Evil with ray tracing on a phone? Like, what's the use case scenario? So, it really begs the question, why would you spend so much money just to have like the fastest processor out there when the one below that is already stupid fast? Okay, anyway, moving on. Anything else actually left? There is a couple things that I didn't mention. So in terms of not accessories, but like features right here, we have under display fingerprint sensor, accelerometer, gyro, proximity, compass. Then we also have NFC and all that stuff that you'd expect. In terms of charging, we are looking at 120 watts wired charging, hence this insane charger that you get in a box. That basically you could probably charge laptops with it. Some laptops can't even charge at 120 watts, and yet your phone can. So that's obviously an interesting thing, and nice to have you with your device. Though, that being said, I wouldn't recommend charging your device all the time at 120 watts. It will degrade your battery significantly faster, and also overheating your battery, all that stuff. It's probably, if you don't need to have it like, what is it, 100% in 19 minutes, if you don't really care that much, then I recommend lowering down the wattages, because I'm pretty sure you can do that in the settings for the battery, and charging it for a little bit longer, but giving your battery a little bit more time to, actually get charged. This will save your battery in the long run, so highly recommend changing that. Even though you do have the stupid 120 watts charging, it is good when you need it, but when you don't, you're just damaging your battery. Anyway, no mention of wireless charging, which is a little bit of a shame. I'm still gonna give it a try just to see. I do have a wireless charger under the desk, so if I place it right a little bit off the screen, it should charge. If it's not charging, so yeah, no wireless charging, unfortunately, if you were looking for such a feature on this device. But with that being said, this is a pretty decent package of a device with very high specs while costing about 800 euros. So again, it's a very affordable device. Let me rephrase that. Affordable when we're talking about flagships, because for instance, if we compare it to something like Samsung's Note lineup, these cost like what, $1,200? Folds cost $1,800. This compared to Fold costs literally $1,000 less. So yeah, and if we compare it to like the last year model of a Fold, like this one, this is the Fold 4. This costed $1,800 US. Nearly, actually right now, a little bit over a year ago, now that this device came in, it's now substituted by this device, which is, I believe, faster. Go figure. So yeah, that also leads me back to the fastest processors and all that stuff. They will get replaced, and what used to be the fastest will then be not the fastest. So I think the Dimensity 9200 Plus is faster than the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 that the Fold has. And obviously the price difference there is just ridiculous. So anyway, that being said, this device delivers a lot of features for a actual reasonable price if we're talking about flagships. The only thing that it's missing when it comes down to comparing it to actual other flagships is wireless charging. That's, I think, the only thing that I can think about that it's missing over the other devices. So yeah, anyway, with that being said, it's a fantastic device package. And if you're in the market for a fast device and you don't care about the fact that this is Xiaomi, because I do know some people will care about it, it does come with its own applications from time to time, and the bloatware, which you can uninstall, but it's still annoying. If you don't mind that and the UI that they have, then by all means, it's a fantastic device. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.